declined. 23 years later, Mexico would see this same determination. Shortly before his trip for Juan Diego's canonization, John Paul II met with his medical specialists, who advised against his making the trip. But at the end of the consultation, John Paul II thanked them for their concern and concluded the meeting by saying, "I will see you in Mexico." Later, John Paul II would reflect on his first visit to Mexico, recalling that, "To some degree, this pilgrimage inspired and shaped all of the succeeding years of my pontificate." If John Paul's pilgrimage to Mexico shaped the rest of his life as the universal pastor of the Church, his choice to visit Mexico first, and his words commending Juan Diego as an evangelist, expressed a new importance and new understanding of the Church in the Americas. He recognized the Americas as a hemisphere with a unique, rich Catholic history, and thus as a hemisphere with a unique, rich place in the future of the Church, a hemisphere with great ability to respond to and benefit from a renewed living out of the gospel of love seen in the witness of the saints. It was in this context that a few months later the cause for Juan Diego's canonization was officially opened, and the Church in the Americas was re-examined and given a new focus: the new evangelization. New saint, renewed devotion. The story of Saint Juan Diego is, of course, the story of Our Lady of Guadalupe. The event of his canonization cannot be understood apart from the events of her appearance. As with any apparition claim, every detail of the Guadalupan accounts must be examined. Each word spoken, each miraculous or extraordinary event that deviates from the everyday, the sequence of events, the character of the people involved, their reaction to the event, their lives afterward, and especially any lingering miraculous effect. For this, we begin with Antonio Valeriano's Nican Mopahua, an account of the Guadalupan apparitions in 1531, the earliest extant edition of which is currently housed in the New York Public Library. The historical record suggests that Valeriano may have derived the information in the Nican Mopahua directly from Juan Diego himself, writing it down sometime before Juan Diego's death in 1548 and within 2 decades of the apparition. Besides this significant work, numerous historical records recall in varying degrees of detail the Guadalupan apparitions, the miraculous image, the church on Tepeyac Hill, and Juan Diego's own life. Some of the most substantial works include the Nican Moticpana, the Información de 1556, and the Informaciones Jurídicas de 1666. Other items composing the complex record of the Guadalupan event include written accounts, artwork, recorded oral testimonies, investigations, wills, and other works. Because Juan Diego would be the first Mexican indigenous saint of that time and place, the canonization process demanded extensive research, requiring a grasp of both the history of colonization in New Spain and pre-colonial culture and religion. Contemporary scholars, historians, and anthropologists specializing in the culture and history of Mexico's Indian people were consulted, and nearly 4,000 documents related to Our Lady of Guadalupe were reviewed. Ultimately, the knowledge and insights from such research have revealed the profound relevance and symbolic richness of the apparitions, and the miraculous image on Juan Diego's tilma, a cloak-like garment, showing how the Guadalupan event conveys in the language and culture of the Indians a message of hope and love. While the facts regarding colonial Mexico cannot be changed, the perspective advocated by historians and even the public at large has changed. Unlike many scholars of the 19th and early 20th centuries, contemporary biographers and historians often highlight the Spanish conquest and occupation of Mexico as a volatile period of spiritual repression, conflict, and violence. By bringing to light the complexity of this period, contemporary research has played an enormous role in helping us to better comprehend and even test the veracity of the Guadalupan apparitions. But, unfortunately, while the idea of conversion by the sword is now familiar, some people may view